I just need to like pull up the questions. I just realized I never
No,
sent you
no,
the questions. Oh my gosh.
no, that's perfect. No, because I like it like that because it brings out just it makes it more genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I doubt because I doubt if I get stomped or anything, but I just like it on my to be on my toes, so that way you'll have something. I don't know, just to make it more genuine. So no, it's totally fine.
Yeah,
I'm not that type of artist. Be like, oh, you can send me the questions.
nah, usually I try not to send people questions if I'm gonna interview them. I know like the other artists, I had sent them the questions because I was gonna have them record themselves and just answer the questions. But
Got
now
you.
that we're doing an interview style, I'm gonna just keep it like this. Um, but let's get into this though. First, before we do anything, I just want to say everybody go online, get Descendant's Excellence shirt. You know what I'm saying? Go on his website, get that. Now that that's
Yes.
out the way, you could add to that, put in your promo for that.
No, yes, but please, my online merch store, definitely check it out. It's the Excellence Collection. I just released the fall line, so it's descendant.squareup.com. Or you can go on my website, descendantmc.com, to check it out. All the from every I got everything from what she's wearing to t-shirts, hoodies, um, sweatshirt sets, bucket hats, dad hats, coffee mugs, cell phone holders. I got it all, man. I got it all. So definitely check it out. So I appreciate the plug.
Yo, no problem. And now that we got the promo out the way.
Right.
I just want Descendant. I want you to introduce yourself. Tell everybody where you're from, what you do, all that.
Yes, yes. My name is Descendant. I am from Newport News, Virginia. I am an independent rap artist, script writer, actor, um, short filmmaker, touring artist, all that good stuff, man. And I just make sure that everything I do as far as creatively is done with substance, and it's definitely something uh genuine coming from my speaking from my heart, you know what I'm saying, regardless if it's funny, serious, um whatever it is, whatever I create, I just make sure that it has some type of substance.
Right, like you want to have meaning to it, like you said, substance to it, and that's honestly what I feel like the entertainment industry needs more than ever now. Instead of just like
Mm,
throwing stuff together, something like that's well written out, well thought out, and something that can educate people as well, which is you do a lot of. So I really do like your
thank
style
you.
of creativity and art, and just keep it up.
Thank
Uh,
you, I appreciate
so what initially got you into music?
it. Excuse me, what initially got me into music was education. I was always into music since the adolescent. My mom used to teach me certain things through rhythm, through pattern, musically. As far as like little small things, like when you first start to learn and grow up, you learn your phone number, your address, and how to spell your name, and uh, where you from, zip code, and all of that stuff. And I would learn that all through rhythm, through song, because I couldn't. It was very difficult for me in a classroom to sit and just like listen and learn. Like I was more hands on. So that was like my early beginnings of loving music and loving songs, lyrics, cadences, and melodies and things of that nature that I fell in love with and started to write poetry in the beginning of my, I guess, journey into being an artist. It was the poetry thing that got me started. Because I didn't know nobody who made beats, so I started with I started with poetry. So that's how it all began.
Wow, man. And I totally feel you on just like having to learn with like rhythm and patterns to like help you remember, help your brain. Like it triggers your brain to remember stuff better.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of us remember, like, that is our introduction into music. I would never thought of it that way before, like, as an introduction to music. And wow, poetry. I didn't know that's how you started off. I just thought you started off just like writing raps. I mean, rapping is poetry, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's it. It started off like that, and my favorite rapper ever is Tupac. So it was funny. I was learning about him. That's how he started writing
Mhm.
poetry or whatever like that, which turned into raps. And same thing with me, it turned into raps. Learning song structure, chorus, bridges, learning how to start a song, learning how to record, and that came on as I continued to um, write even more.
Right. Man, like, like you said, studying Tupac, um, and like with him starting off with poetry, and then like even seeing your style with it, it's like y'all both kind of have I'm not like a poetic cadence to y'all selves. You know what I'm saying? Like you could tell that is a poetry style to y'all when y'all rap. It's like the flow and the cadence is just different from like a rapper that's like punch you in your face aggressive type of rapping. You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all have more gentle spirits from time to time. Tupac, he would go either way though sometimes. Sometimes
Yeah,
Tupac,
from time
you
to
know,
time.
yeah.
That's a great explanation.
Mhm.
That's a great example the way you explained that. Yeah, because it's I look at him like a balance,
Mhm.
and that's why I get like my influence as far as balance from of I have song that's soft or softer,
Mhm.
be more, right? Which is about relationships, love, and how to deal with that. Then I may come back with a song called Hardcore. It was way more aggressive, like you said, a punch you in the face
Mhm.
type, aggressive type beat and song. But it
Mhm.
again, it's still all with substance. So I learned that from him for
Yeah.
sure.
And like I love the song Picture That. I actually put that in my title playlist. I
Thank you.
love that song. It's like it's a nice I don't know, it just has a nice flow to it. It's like the way how it's delivered is in a very poetic style. Now that I know that you've done poetry, it's like now I'm like really seeing it now. I'm like, no wonder I like that song Picture That because it has a very poetic delivery to it. Um
Thank you.
but
Shout out to my man.
mhm.
He did the beat, and he brought that out of me as far as starting a song, starting that album at the time, uh, very poetically. It was like, instead of the, like you said, the punctuation, and it came in kind of less aggressive, not
Mhm.
necessarily soft, but just poetic,
Mhm.
as they would say. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for sure.
And who did you say produced that beat again?
My guy, Soul Fresh, he did
So
that beat.
fresh.
He
Okay,
did that beat.
gotcha. And you technically already touched on one of the people, but who are some of the artists that inspired you to get into rapping and just the arts? I'll say that.
Yeah, Tupac is like my number one inspiration as far as wanting to rap, but not sound like Tupac or not
Mm-hmm.
sound like him or dress like him or act like him, but he influenced me to tell my story. He influenced me to be genuinely me, to speak from the heart, regardless of the consequences, right? He was my like biggest influence. Then, of course, people like Nas made me want to rap. Most Def made me want to rap. Busta Rhymes he made me want to rap. Um, and these are people that I was constantly buying their music or going to a concert or something like that. Seeing Mob Deep live made me want to rap. Like that was my Mob Deep. They were a part of my first concert. Seeing Jay-Z for the first time live, maybe like the live presentation as far as like shows is or concerts, like just the energy of it all, you know what I'm saying, from the audience from to the artist. Like those are some of the artists that like made Missy Elliott like made me want to be creative and like perform but be creatively in the studio and like rap. But production, you know what I'm saying, how she danced. And although I'm not a dancer, I'm not a dancer at all, but she influenced me to do that for sure. Timberland made me want to rap. Hearing his first album, I played it so much that it actually got stuck in my mom's CD player. And this is back when they had CDs in a car. I may be telling myself with age, but and the CD got stuck like it would not like that CD got stuck in it. That's how much I played like that CD. That Timberland, the first album.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. So just to give you a few. Those are some of the people who like influenced me and made me want to rap.
Yo, I feel you on each and every last one of them artists. It's crazy because majority of them artists that you name, I actually have them up on my wall in my studio because I have a '90s
That's fire.
theme. I actually just got to get Timbaland and Missy Elliott. I got to put them somewhere up on the wall. But everybody that you name, I pretty
Right.
much got them up on the wall except for Tupac. He's missing. I have like ODB. Everybody else though, you know what I'm saying. But man,
Right.
like Missy Elliott and Timbaland, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they really put Virginia on the map. And like, if it wasn't for Missy Elliott, I probably wouldn't have gotten into rapping and stuff when I was younger too. And also, I don't think I would have gotten into doing music videos either, because Missy Elliott and Hype Williams, their minds together, whoa, with filming,
Incredible.
oh my god.
Her and Busta Rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Her
Buster
and
Rhymes
Busta
too.
Rhymes. Is the creativity in their music videos. They took their music, it gave a new life to their songs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with the visuals. Then when you see them live, then it's just like it's another level. So many layers that you can do with creative minds like that. It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of like uh creative minds and music and everything and the people that you looked up to, uh at what point in your music journey did you start taking music seriously, with rapping and all that?
Um, Once I started recording music, I
Mm-hmm.
took it seriously. And learning the process of how to record, how um to make it to how to record a chorus. It should be different from your verse. It shouldn't sound like your verse. It should sound like a chorus. People
Mm-hmm.
should know this is the chorus. Like voice inflection and putting emotion behind it and not sounding like you're reading off a piece of paper with your finger on it. You know what I'm saying? Like learning how to rehearse the song before you get in the studio. Like this is like my very first, because the studio that I was recording at in it, like when I first started, it was the barbershop that I was going to.
Mm-hmm.
So my barbershop had a studio at the same time. And yeah, that's how I learned to, once I learned to record and then I started performing in high school and stuff like that, you know, the high school talent shows. That's when I was taking it like and hearing that feedback. That's when I was starting to take it serious. Although my very first time like performing, I got booed, but it just gave me more ammunition to come back harder next year.
Yeah, it definitely makes you want to try harder, and I totally felt you when you said rapping with inflection, not sounding like you're reading off a sheet of paper. I feel like almost every rapper or singer starts, especially rappers, starts off like that when they first start recording. It's like we all hate our voices. We all hate how like we deliver our rap, cuz like in our head, we
Right.
hear it one way, but when we record it, it's like I got to pick up the energy. I got to bring it up like by 100. So,
Exactly. No,
mhm.
that's a fact. And being comfortable with your voice,
Mhm.
you know, on the track, right? And because you don't, yeah, we talk, but we're not really paying attention closely to how we sound on a regular.
Right.
Now we're actually recording something and then putting it on a CD or putting it on an MP3 and hearing it back. Oh, that's how it sounds. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Yeah.
I got a low voice. My voice is that deep, or my voice is high pitch, or it's mid range. Sounds monotone. It sounds like I'm going to sleep. It sounds like I'm angry. Like all of these things that you have to keep in mind when you're recording the songs, because You want to provoke emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Can't talk about death and sound like it's a sunny day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Depending on how you want to go with it, but you have to. It's sorrow, it's pain. You have to put that. You have to sound like that. Your voice has to sound like that. You can't sound like you're at a club talking about murder. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, sad to say, a lot of
Although
artists do sound like that now, but
yeah, I'm like, although yeah, that's true. Although artists do sound like that, but yeah, as far as how I began recording, that's what it was all about. Like, put emotion behind your words.
Mm-hmm. And also, I feel like that helps out leading up to being ready to perform live. If you can master recording and building up your cadence and delivery and recording, performing live is like the next step. It's like you just bring
Yep.
what you do in the studio, but you just do it live.
And it's important to have stage presence to
Mm-hmm.
command the attention and not ask for the attention, but demand it with your energy. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Once you step on the stage, when they first hear you, the first word, the first bar, you got to command the attention in the room, in the venue, in the concert hall, in the stadium, wherever you're at. I don't care if it's 5 people. You got to command the attention, and just constantly rehearsing, constantly practicing. To this day, I'm still practicing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And uh, being in love with the craft and commanding the attention from the crowd without having to say, "Put your hands up," or without having to tell them to do something. Or no, I'm going to command it by my voice and the song that I picked. I'm going to make sure that once you hear me, I have your attention to the point where you're going to be asking, "Who is that?" Or pull out your phone and record, or ask for my Instagram after the show, or whatever. You're gonna want to know about me. So that's how I kind of look at shows as far as live performances are concerned.
Right. Like, you should definitely have that electrifying energy. Everybody should have that Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston energy when they get on stage. You may not sound like them, you don't have to. Just have that energy on stage. People love that. That's what that is.
But
So,
that's it.
as long as you got that and you just let your talent speak for you, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Yeah, it's tough to get people's attention, but you got to go all out
Mhm.
every time. That's why I learned. I do not care how many people is in the crowd. I do not care if what I'm saying. Whatever's going on. When I'm on the stage, I'm command the stage. The moment I start to the moment I end my set or end the show. You want to
Mhm.
know who I am. You want to know about me.
Right. And speaking of like performing and recording, we're gonna kind of like go back because I want to know, what's your very first project? Now, before you say anything, I remember about what maybe it's going on 10 years since we've been following each other, I think, and I remember seeing your project on like SoundCloud, before it like got on platforms, and I'm wondering, was that your very first? I don't even remember the name of it, but I still have it in one of my playlists on SoundCloud, but I was wondering, is that your very first project, or like, was there like projects
Mm-mm.
before that? Like, what's your very first project?
My very first project, it was called Pass the Torch.
Mm-hmm.
It's on my, I think it's still on Dat Piff because they didn't take Dat Piff down. Dat Piff and it's still on my YouTube channel. Like it was my very first solo project. Before I was just like a lot of people starting groups and but once that didn't happen, it was just like I still want to do music. So yeah, that was my first project. It was called Pass the Torch.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
do you remember like any of the topics you spoke
Oh
on
yeah,
on
for
that
sure.
project?
I remember the recording process. I remember I remember spending the night in the studio and um I was at shout out my man Byron. I was at his house, his mom's house in the garage. He had a studio set up and recording. Sound wasn't wasn't great because we didn't have the the foam or nothing like that. It was literally like straight. out the getting that what they say out the mud.
Yeah.
But as far as recording music goes, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't crispy, clean, clear. It was muffled. It was what you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Um, I remember, yeah, I just remember printing out the wow, rest in peace to my uncle Fred. Man. Um, it just hit me because I remember printing out the album covers and my uncle was helping me print out the album covers and cutting them up and putting them in CDs and like I remember all of that, man. I remember all of that stuff. Recording and listen to it for the first time in the car, then listen to it in my headphones, then listen to it um on the computer speakers, just to see how it sounds.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I remember all of that. I remember all of that. The emotions behind each song, performing it at colleges, trying to go on tour with it, and I remember all that.
So around what year was that? Like, cause I've never heard of you talk about this project or anything. That's why I'm like, I'm about to go check this thing out.
Yeah, this is. I think this is like again. I might be dating myself, but this is before streaming. This is before Spotify or any
Mhm.
of that. This was the mixtape era where it was Dat Piff, all
Mhm.
those mixtape websites, and YouTube.
Ah.
So I was in blogs. This was the blog era, like
Mhm.
just having it, trying to get in on blogs. But it was mostly like Dat Piff. What is it? Mixtapes.com, I think it was called.
Oh yeah,
Can't remember. It was,
I
you
remember
know what I'm
you had
saying?
posted something on mixtapes.com. I was like in early high school, but I don't think it was that project. It was like probably after that. This
Maybe yeah, it might.
this was
Well,
like 2013
no,
sometime.
okay,
Yeah,
no,
because
it
I was like,
wasn't that.
because I think what you're
Wasn't
talking about, like Dat Piff and stuff, that was more popular when I was like in elementary school, like 2008, 2009. I was like 10. Yeah, so
Yo, you blowing my mind right now.
yeah. So I was like still in elementary school. I wasn't and you know how
Yeah, that's
Virginia
when it.
is, we're
Oh yeah.
not really internet wasn't really out in the woods where I'm at,
In
so
the sticks.
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't unless you had it like that. It
I
was
had
not in the
net
sticks like
zero. That was
that.
it.
Oh my. Oh, you taking me back with that one. Net zero. I think was it. It wasn't the dial up, was it?
Yeah,
Was
it
it?
was a
It was.
dial up.
It was the
Like
dial up.
nobody better not call that phone while I'm trying to download something. Nobody better not do that.
Yo, the dial up, and you can hear the. Oh man,
Jeez.
you take me back with
Like
that
I
one.
said, I was like in elementary school when we had elementary and middle school. We had dial up and stuff, so
Yeah,
it
it was
was.
old. It was around. Oh well. Hmm. It was around between. Was it 08? 07, 08?
Whoa. Yeah.
07, 08, because it was because I only had it. I remember I only had it online. I didn't
Mhm.
have physical copies. 09 is when I had it physical copies, and my uncle was helping me cut up before I went back to school and all that. So yeah, yep,
Wow.
that's when I
So.
released it. Because before then, it was just I was in a group and we were all just trying to come out with compilation albums.
Mhm.
We came out with like one, one or two.
Hmm.
Then dismantled. Everybody went their separate ways, and I was just trying to figure it out. It took me a while, but I was just trying to figure it out, like where I'm gonna go with this. Um,
Mhm.
Usually in a group, just started rapping, just starting how to learning how to record, learning how to perform, learning my flow because my flow wasn't all that great when I first started. And you know how people like to lie on here. Oh, the gate, I was the illest. I wasn't the illest out the. I was nice, but I wasn't like I had room to grow.
Mhm.
And the biggest thing was my flow wasn't always great at times.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, just trying to figure it out during that time. So that's when it came out around like 09 or something like that. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Like that was but during that time, that was big time to be like able to put your
Yeah,
stuff on YouTube. Like I remember as a kid like in elementary school like, "Oh my god, they got their video on YouTube?" Like what? Like that was a big deal, you know. And
that
then
was a
like
huge deal.
being able to get out on blogs cuz blogs that was popular before Facebook really blew up like it did now. You
Yep,
know, so it's like blogs was a thing of you could get out on blogs like you said YouTube,
that pit was a
Dat
thing.
Piff.
All those mixtape websites.
Yep.
Um, it's funny, but because I never had music, I never shot a music video for any of those songs.
Mm.
Any no, there's no music video for none of those. Thank God, probably, because the way my budget was set up during that time, it would have been something to laugh at. But it was I cringe at it now because I listen to it. Ooh, man, I shouldn't put that out. But at that time, I was just like, yo, I gotta start. You gotta start somewhere.
Mhm.
But I appreciate the journey more, and I laugh at some of the songs now because it's like, wow, I came a long way. But I was confident in it during that time for sure.
Mhm. Man. Oh my gosh. Like we went way back for a second. I didn't know we were going to go
Yeah,
that
we
far
did
back.
like
Like whoa.
crazy,
You know, like you're the first
crazy.
artist to say like your first project was like 08, 09. Everybody else, they might have been doing music since then, but they wasn't able to like I said, what you did, that was big time back then. So,
You know,
you know.
it was I remember taking pictures for the album and printing them out on a computer on what is it, Pic Art or whatever it
Oh
was
yeah.
called.
Mhm. Pick art.
Because I couldn't afford the like what they got now, what they used to have when CDs was popping, like that hard
Mhm.
copy
You had to go to
color.
Family Dollar and get
Yeah,
the
with the
yeah.
nice gloss on it. Like I couldn't
Mhm.
afford that. So it's just to have it on that piff.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, it wasn't like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like I had moments on that album that stuck out like really well, but some of the songs I was like, yeah, I could have not released that. But again, at that time, it's like you gotta start somewhere, man. You gotta
Mhm.
start somewhere.
Hey, we all got to like you got to be patient with your talent as it grows, you know. Like you said like in that moment in time you think you're really doing something and then you go back and listen to it and you're like, "Whoa, I can't like you said I came a long way. I hear a big
Yeah,
difference." You know, but back
huge.
then it was, you know, even back then, like I said, it was big time to do that back then and like you said it's a huge difference now though. You know, you've seen the progression. So,
Yes, thank God, man. Listen, I think if I still sound like it back then, what I sound like now, if I sound like that now, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I tell you that right now. I tell you that like that because I don't think you would have been like, yeah, he's dope. Like, there's no way. There's
I'll be
no
like,
way.
maybe just work on some
You're right.
things and I'll get around to you, you know.
Keep grinding. You would
Yeah,
have been like something like that. Keep
yeah.
working.
Like keep
Yeah.
on doing your thing. I'm a like just tweak a few things. I'm gonna be honest with you now. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be like, yo, I'll interview you as long as you do these few things. So,
I respect that.
but
I respect.
uh, so we already got on. Like, was it what year did it come out? Okay, so the next question. This is like specifically for you.
Yeah.
Um, what made you want to make that big leap in your music career to move from Virginia to New York?
Well, actually, I went from Virginia to Raleigh, North Carolina. I went to college out in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Um, After I graduated, I stayed in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I moved from Raleigh to New York. And I learned how to be I really learned how to be an independent artist in Raleigh, North Carolina, as far as having my own shows, going on tours, releasing songs. And this is when streaming was starting to was like Spotify was everything, and going to networking events, put myself out there, traveling by myself, and you know what I'm saying? I didn't have an entourage. It was always me, dolo,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like I hit a glass ceiling as far as creatively and business wise as well in Raleigh, North Carolina. Although I
Mm-hmm.
was traveling outside, I was going to New York, I was going back home to Virginia. I was doing shows in Atlanta at the time, just that up and down that area from New York to Atlanta by myself, renting out cars, you know what I'm saying? And just trying to figure it out, going to open mics, going to getting booked for a show, then do an open mic before the show or after the show to make my trip worthwhile instead of just doing that one day and coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, I'm still in contact with a lot of those people that I was doing shows at that time. And no disrespect to the people I was around in North Carolina, but a lot of them had very, well, I'll say their ambitions didn't match up with mine, and it scared me
Mm-hmm.
to the point where it was almost like somebody that's satisfied with being where they at, and I'm like, I have so much more to grow and so much more potential than being here, and not just on some being in Raleigh, North Carolina, but at the level that I was at. So it made me uncomfortable, and I was like, I need to change. And talking to people like Knife Wonder, getting to talk to him, getting to
Mm-hmm.
talk to uh, OGs that started and helped build the RDU, which is Raleigh Durham um, area, like DJ Damu,
Mm-hmm.
um, Sean Don, but now I think Sean Don's a DJ now. From the formerly from the Justice League, but now he works closely with Little Brother. Um, and just getting people's point of view, right, on
Mm-hmm.
what to do. And I remember it's funny. I don't know if you remember Cousin Jeff. Again, I may be aging myself. He used to be on BET and Rap City a lot. He used to have dreads. Now he doesn't have dreads anymore, but
Oh
he cut them
wait.
off.
Oh no, I'm thinking about the dude on 106 in Park when I was a kid. I'm thinking about him. Never mind. Because he used to have dreads too, but it's not the same dude. I think his name was
Oh,
Free and
AJ. You talking
AJ.
about
Yeah,
AJ?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But he used to. I just remember him being on Big Tigger Rap City in the basement a lot, and I had a conversation. He was like the last straw, and he used to have these prayer lines, men prayer lines in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And before I would go to work, I would call in, and this one particular time, and he would pick random people every morning to speak about whatever they're going through and pray. They'll have a discussion, and it's not even long. I think it was like 15, 30 minutes, if that.
Mm-hmm.
And one morning, like I was constantly on it faithfully, because he spoke at my graduation in college as
Mm-hmm.
well. So I read his book, and I was following him on Instagram or Twitter, and that's when he had this prayer line for men. I forgot what he called it, where we have a discussion, then pray, then start our day or whatever.
Mm.
Um, but I remember having a conversation with him over the phone, and there's other men listening. And you're like, "What you going through?" And I was letting him know, I'm kind of in a position where I need to find out if I really have true talent. I'm in Raleigh, and everything is cool, but I feel like a big fish in a small pond, and I need to go to a bigger city to really test out if I have what it takes to really do this music thing. And I was just giving him my steps or what I already done
Mm-hmm.
to move to in New York. But I'm asking him, "Do you think I need to move?" And I'm already like, I'm already like halfway there. And I
Right.
remember him vividly saying, "Well, brother, it seems like you already made your mind is already made up. Like you just need to go."
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like I guess I was just waiting on confirmation from someone else, although I was already making a transition and to move. And he was like, "Yeah, you just sound like you just need to do it. Like
Mm-hmm.
just do it." And that was my final straw to move from Raleigh, North Carolina to New York on a Greyhound. Yeah. I know that
Wow.
was a long-winded answer, but yeah, yeah.
No, like I love it. Like this, we need all this detail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
for
you're gonna look
sure.
back on this interview and be like, "Dang, I'm glad I said all that." You know, you know what I'm saying? But like sometimes, like you said, I like what you said. Sometimes you need confirmation before you really make that move. That's how I am too. It's like I need confirmation on stuff, you know, because you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying. But at the same time, if you're constantly, if it's constantly in your mind to like to just do something, sometimes you just have to do it because that's your spirit leading you. You know what I'm saying? Don't question it. Just go and do it. You know what I'm saying? That's
just go
something
and
I'm
do it.
learning as
Yeah,
well. You know, just go ahead and just do it. It may not even make sense to you at the time, but just do it. And eventually things will work itself out. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. And that's exactly something similar he was saying. And you're not going to have all your ducks in a row. You're not going to have all the money you need. You're not going to have everything. This is not going to be perfect. And if you're going to wait for that, it's never going to happen.
Mhm.
It's never going to happen. And that was my issue, waiting on other people that was trying to move to New York. And this was like they were just dropping off one by one, but wasn't telling me. So now, all this time I want to go to New York, 3 years, 4 years, 6 years pass. And I'm like, yo, what am I doing? Wait, I need to make this move. I need to take this leap of faith. Yeah, I don't have all the money right now, but I'm gonna figure it out. Yeah, I don't, it was just one of those things
Mhm.
where I feel like I had to do that to get where I am today. Although I'm still not where I like completely want to be,
Mhm.
but I'm a lot further today. If I would, I felt like if I would have stayed in Raleigh, North Carolina, you know what I'm saying? At that time.
Yeah. Cause like I remember, I don't know if like if you had just moved up there or whatever, but I remember you talking about like yeah, like you gotta come up here. I don't know if it was you or somebody else that's already up in that's from New York, but like both of y'all,
Mhm.
like I was talking to both of y'all at the same time, and I think he had stopped rapping actually. He got into like real estate or something up there. But you know,
Oh
both of
wow.
y'all were talking about you know, like you got to go up to New York because it's just this and that, and I'm just like, it's not for me, but I can understand people that really want to go up there because like it will take your career to the next level, especially if you're trying to grow musically or anywhere in the arts. You know what I'm saying? With me, I was like,
It
you
was
know,
possible.
mhm,
It's definitely possible. Um, the thing that most people don't tell you that it's going to be really rough,
oh yeah,
really rough.
mhm,
I gave myself a year. I wrote down a list of things that I wanted to do, that I wanted to accomplish, and I gave myself a year to get on my feet because I knew, being that I was taking this leap of faith, I didn't have all the money I needed. I knew it was going to be rough.
mhm,
So I was like, listen, if I'm still struggling within a year, I need to move back and I need to figure out something else because it ain't for me. And I struggled really badly for about like 6 months.
mhm,
Like, it was tough,
yeah,
rough, but I expected it. So it wasn't like I was just caught off guard. I did hit rock bottom. Like, it got that bad what I literally hit rock bottom. But I just got out of the situation. I just kept going and got out of the situation. But I will say it is better to travel.
mhm,
Everyone doesn't necessarily have to move to New York or Atlanta or LA, but I will advise that it is good to travel. Even in New York, I live in New York, but I still travel to Philly. I still travel to DC, Atlanta, Dallas, Texas,
mhm,
Cincinnati, Ohio, to get my music out there. Because just because you're in New York doesn't mean it's all peaches and candy. You know what I'm saying? It's
mm-mm,
just not. It's not a piece of cake. It's even more saturated with artists and people that's trying to do it. And you got to separate yourself and really put yourself out there consistently
mhm,
and have a nice work ethic. Because a lot of people just don't have the work ethic at all. Because it's tough. It is not easy, but by no means. Because if it was, everybody would do it.
mhm,
Everybody will be very successful if it was that easy, and it's not. You know what I'm
mm-mm,
saying? It is a tough business. It is a tough art form. Um, and you have to roll with the punches. You know what I'm saying? It's and learn the business at the end of the day.
yeah,
Get a book and learn the ins and outs of how the music industry works. And after you do that, you got to ask yourself, do I really want to go through this? Am I prepared for this? Is my mind geared towards fighting against this? Because at the end of the day, the music industry is built on the artists losing. And not
right,
to sound negative, not to sound, um, you know, be a Debbie Downer or a party pooper, whatever you want to call it. But it's the truth. If you look at the contracts, it's just how the music industry is set up. It is not built for artists to win. So you have to be sharp at all times, the best way possible. Ask questions, read, do research. If you can get your hands on a lawyer or get to a lawyer, entertainment lawyer, please do so. Whatever you got to do, but just don't go in there and just worried about the music and I'm gonna learn as I go along. No, don't do that.
Mm-mm.
Learn as much as you can. You know what I'm saying before proceeding with whatever you do. That's the one thing I would advise. Although, like I said, I'm not some big time artist, but I did learn, I did read, I did purchase books about how this music industry works. I attended networking events about how the music industry works and rubbed elbows and asked questions to some pretty major people in the industry that you wouldn't know that they will walk past you and you would have no idea who they were.
Mm-hmm.
But being that I'm in the room with these types of people and get to ask questions, you know what I'm saying? Um it was a great opportunity that I'm glad that I experienced.
Right. Like, and like you said, learn all you can. I remember when I was in college, I had to take up like media law classes, stuff like that. So I know how important it is to read over them contracts because the wording is very tricky. They will say one thing,
Very.
but it will have a double entendre to it and stuff. Like you gotta thoroughly
Pay
read through
attention.
things.
Yeah.
Like you said, get a lawyer if you have to. But when you're reading them contracts and you don't have enough money for a lawyer, make sure to look at them words from different perspectives, not just your own. Because trust me, they mean it from another perspective. You know.
Yes.
And I think
Forever.
yeah,
For
forever. You know,
eternity.
and I think quality control. They came to my college. That's the record label that runs that put
Migos.
Migos and them on the spot. And what's that dude? Little baby, him out there too.
Yeah,
And
little baby. What's the other one? Uh Lil Yachty.
oh, okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
Lil Yachty was under them too, but like I remember when they came to my school and they were fairly well, they weren't new, but like their name is it wasn't out there as it is now. And when they came to my school, they were talking about like yeah, like you really want to know all this and that and the third. I was like, this is a lot of stuff to get into the music industry. Like after all that, I was like, you know what? I'll just make music for the love of it, for the fun of it. I'm not gonna be doing stuff like trying to like make a living off of it because it's just not for me. But I applaud people like y'all that is able to make even a portion of a living off of like the music industry or just make it like doing music and having an honest living off of making the music
Mhm.
that you love to make without having to be under a record label. That's all I got to say on that. You know what I'm saying? Being an independent artist. It's hard.
And it's hard, it's difficult.
Mhm.
But you gotta again, what you just said is what a lot of people need to do, but don't do it. And I'm not saying that music. No, I am saying that the
Mhm.
music industry is not for everybody.
It's
You know what I'm
called the
saying? It's not.
industry.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, or the
Mhm.
record business. It's just as it sounds,
Mhm.
record business. And for you to have that epiphany and be like, you know what? I don't want to go this route. I want to go this route. I
Mhm.
want to pivot. I still want to do music, but I want to do it this way to the point where I don't have to, because this route is just not for me. And that doesn't make you weak. That doesn't make you not intelligent. That doesn't make you less of a human or less creative or less
Mhm.
talented. It just means that you just don't want to go that route. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Cause it is
I
super
respect.
hard. Like I remember, like in high, I was just telling my dad the other day. I was like, I remember when I was like, especially a freshman and sophomore in high school, I wanted to be a part of a record label so bad. I was over here emailing Atlantic Records, Capitol Records, Columbia Records. What else? Like everybody.
I was doing the same thing.
I would go to
I
their
did the
website, get their
same thing.
email.
Me and my man, I haven't spoke to him in years. His name is Matt, but his artist name was Crisis.
Mhm.
we and this is high school. This is before my first solo project I told you about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We did an EP together, or it's like an album together. Um, I can't remember the name of it, but I heard how LL got signed, and keep in mind LL got signed in the LL Cool J, by the way,
Yeah.
got signed in the 80s. This is like 2000s, like mid 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, he got signed by he. What he did was, if I'm not mistaken, he sent his demo tape to record labels because
Mm-hmm.
you could just buy um the addresses on the albums.
Mm-hmm.
Or for him, he's from New York, he could just go. So I was just like, yo, how about let's just send off these albums that we got. Let's just mail them to Def Jam. Let's mail them to Universal. Let's mail it to Interscope. Let's just see what we can get.
Mm-hmm.
We wrote a letter to everyone, and we put our album in it, and we shipped it off. Of course, we didn't hear nothing back. They probably threw them joints away as soon as it got there. But that was the ambition that we had because, and it's you probably can attest to this, because we saw the glitz and the glamour
Mm-hmm.
through the television. And this is before social media. This is before we saw what it was because of how TV presented the music industry. You could
Right.
be this big shining star. All you got to do is 1, 2, 3, like an easy bake oven, and it's like no, it's totally not that. When you see the Wizard, when you go see the Wizard of Oz, and you go behind the curtain, that's the music industry. It's like yo,
Mm-hmm.
this is what it is. This is what the music industry is. It's like yo, it's a lot more to it than with the with at the time with TV, how TV presented it. Because that's
Right.
why we all wanted to be on a record label. We all wanted to be with the Rough Riders or Rockefeller or be with Missy or whatever it was, right? Because we
Mm-hmm.
saw that and we saw the fun. We barely saw the business. Barely.
Like the amount
And
of
that was the
work.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a man. Even on the underground, and I hate using the word underground, but even on the independent side, it is a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Not just
Mm-hmm.
with contract, with taxes. How to file your taxes, how to claim something on your taxes. You go on tour, you're going to lose money. You're going to lose money because the big artists lose money because
Mm-hmm.
you're into. It's not about necessarily money. It's about reaching the fans. That's to promote the album that you have, and it's about the merch, and it's about all of these things. And it takes time. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna lose. I still got some CDs from albums that I had a few years ago, and I know, and I was like, I can't do nothing with it. Can't do it's like a few copies, but nobody listens to CDs. You know what I'm saying? You have to deal with stuff like that. And are
Mm-hmm.
you willing to do that? Are you willing to go through that and still make more music? Still put out another album or another EP or drop another music video or go on tour again. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's tough. Tough.
Like the amount
But
of work put in as, like you said, independent artists or record label artists, it's a lot. And either way, you're going to lose money. It's sad, but it's true.
absolutely. Is and you just got to be prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you mentally, physically prepared for that? Because it's tough. It's tough.
I will say though, like at least with the record labels, when you go on tour and you lose this money, at least it's like under their budget. It's not really straight out of your pocket, technically. It's like a
Oh
loan
no,
from them.
it's no,
You have to still pay it back.
it's yeah. I'm about to say yeah.
Yeah.
It's depending on what it is, depending on how your contract is set up.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, it's coming out your pocket, one way
Yeah.
or another. It's coming out your pocket. They
Yeah.
may be covering for it, but they looking for you to pay it back and then some.
Yeah. I was like, the record
A
labels
lot
are
of people
like
don't talk
credit
about how.
cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Artists that's how artists get into because people don't believe artists can get into debt. And it's like, yeah, you can.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely get into debt. You sign a contract or whatever, they looking for that money back and then some.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't do that, you're in the red. So that means in the red means I owe
Yeah.
the record label this. I owe my manager this. I didn't recoup off of the $300,000 budget that I had to record my first album. I only made half of that. I only sold 25,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a crazy. It makes your head hurt, and it can make you very disgruntled,
Mm-hmm.
frustrated, because it's like, yo, they are really out to get like, they're really out to get artists. And again, this is I don't want to scare people. I'm like, yo, it's the devil. Don't do it. But it's tough. And all I'm saying is you just gotta learn and be smart as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at the shiny things because the shiny things will blind you,
Mm-hmm.
and those shiny things can turn into handcuffs. And although it's gold, but it's gold handcuffs. So you stuck in this platinum handcuffs because you're looking at it, it's so shiny, but you're trapped in this contract,
Mm-hmm.
you
And you don't
know.
know how long
So
that contract gonna be. Look at Michael Jackson. Conspiracy theorist over here. I'm sorry, that's me. But anyways, you know, speaking of like your music and like all of your how many projects do you have out so far? Like total.
if I count, I was just because a lot of people think I just have three because of streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I can't count the one in high school. You really about to make me okay, so it's seven,
Whoa.
seven, yeah, about seven projects.
Do you think you can name them in order?
Yeah, that's what I was just doing.
Yeah.
So, well, eight. If I mean, well, the one I did in high school, nobody's going to hear that because we
Mm-hmm.
we only did CDs or whatever. So I guess I can't count that. But um, Pass the Torch, Beats and Bars EP, Hit My Heart, Feel My Pain EP, Road to Greatness, Journey of a Lost Soul album, A Voice for the Voiceless album, um, Mentally Drained EP, um, it's another one. Uh, oh, the compilation album that I did with my man Crisis. I'm counting that. No, I'm
Mm-hmm.
counting that. That because we worked hard on that. It was a compilation album, or collab album I did with a good friend of mine named Crisis. I can't remember the name of that one though, because that was like my very first like putting it together and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, seven. Excuse me, seven
Wow.
projects.
And I went to SoundCloud to find the like first project that I ever heard you do, and it was called Return to Greatness Journey
Road to
of
Greatness.
I mean oh wait, yeah, Road to Greatness, my bad. Uh
No, you good.
Journey of Lost
But lost
Soul.
soul.
Yeah.
So by that time that was like my fourth,
Fourth. Okay.
that was like my fourth project that I put out. Yeah, Road to Greatness, Journey of a Lost Soul. Yeah, that's my fourth one.
Wow. And speaking of
Yeah.
like not just music projects, I want to get off of music for a second, kind of get into film because I know you do film as well. I think I came around when you was doing it was that film where you like brought awareness to
So
like sickle cell and soul. That one?
I think that was the first. Yeah, that was my. Yes, that was my first one. So
Oh wow. Okay.
off because it was off that album that you Road to Greatness Journey Below. So that was my
Mhm.
first short film.
Wow. And I just want to know like what was the process like what first of all what got you into doing film and like also what got you into like incorporating promoting your music through these short film like almost like a series of short films with each project almost.
Damn, you're right. Yeah, starting from Road to Greatness, each album that I had at least had one short film. That is you're absolutely correct. I just thought you're good. I just thought I
Oh,
just
see
thought
look,
about
I'm just like very like I pay attention to detail when it comes to
no, you
film.
feel
So I'm
like I
like
just thought of my
wow.
last three projects, each one had a short film. I just thought about that. You're right. Um I'm sorry. What was the question again? That threw me off. Like, yo,
See,
that's true.
I thought it was like on purpose. Like I thought you was just doing this like as a marketing thing to market each album. Like I thought like the first album, like with the short film was just by coincidence. But then I noticed like each album that you did after that, you had a short film to go along with it to promote it. So I thought it was like a routine type of thing you was doing. And I was like, that's a
It
good
was a
concept.
routine, but I didn't think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
As far as you saying, each album had a short. I didn't think I would. It was just a routine as far as me writing
Oh.
and wanting to. Because the reason why I wanted to. This I looked at it like, okay, this is how I separate myself from other artists,
Mm-hmm.
rap artists. Everybody and they mama rap. We know this. Okay, everybody. Excuse me. It could be a plumber. Guarantee that plumber knows somebody that rap,
Mm-hmm.
or he or she might be the rapper. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
how can you always ask myself, how can I separate myself from other artists? I just can't just rap. What else can I do? Okay, I love film. John Singleton, Spike Lee. Those are my favorite directors growing up and watching their films. Anything black is concerned. Even now with Issa Rae and Get Out. What's the director?
Jordan Peele,
Jordan Peele.
the
Like
director of Black
anything.
Panther.
Yes, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. Anything that has something to do with black, like it just interests me because it's like, okay, we already know what white or any other, cool, but these are our stories and just how they showed it. Ice Cube,
Mm-hmm.
rappers who turn actors and write scripts, and Ice Cube, is a great storyteller in his songs, like Once Upon a Time in the Projects, Boys in the Hood,
Mm-hmm.
Today Was a Good Day, just to name a few. um Summer Vacation. That's probably like my favorite Ice Cube story that he has. But I remember he had an interview where he was talking to John Singleton, and John Singleton influenced him to write scripts because John Singleton told him, if you can write a song telling a story, you can write a script.
Mm.
So I took that as like, well, let me do that. Let me see what I could come up with. And I did it differently. So it's like, okay, how can I do it differently as far as not just having a movie, but let's have a short film based around the song that I have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I began my short film journey of just trying to just separate myself from just being a rapper. Presenting you with more content, just music videos of me being in an abandoned building saying how hood I am or how much peddle drugs and blah 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 with guns and so I was like, yo, let me be creative as possible, but still be me and tell stories because I love telling stories through music. So that's how I started.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Like, well, I have to say it's a great marketing concept. Hopefully, like now that it's to your attention, maybe you may like add some extra films in there. Maybe to like more songs, like to your like make it a whole soundtrack, like make your album a whole soundtrack with each film you do. You know,
It's funny you say that, and I'll
yeah.
leave that at the.
Yeah, just just write it down somewhere.
Funny you
Um,
say that.
like I said, I thought you were doing this on purpose. I was like, oh my god, this is a great marketing concept. Like it, at least I know whenever like I
Yeah,
come
I was doing
across,
that on purpose. As far
yeah,
as the marketing is concerned, I just didn't look at it like I'm a dude. I didn't think of it like each album come out with a short film. It just like I was looking at it like, how can I separate myself?
mm-hmm,
Let me separate myself as much as possible with this song. You know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? How can I revise and make it so that way I don't have to keep releasing music because I'm just not that type of artist that I gotta release music every month or every other week because it's just like, all right, is this about music? Is this about quality or is just about quantity? Regardless of how good or bad the song is, I'm just releasing music every month or every other week. So the streaming sites is rewarding me because I'm just releasing music. But is it good? Is it sticking to me? Is it substance? Am I going to listen to this 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years, 10 years from now? And if I'm not, then what? You know what I mean?
That's
So
What'd you say?
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's what I was just telling a beat maker. We were just talking about this morning. Because I noticed like there's like some artists that are like always releasing music every month, every week, and it's like it's too overwhelming as a music listener like me. I'm like you get tired of like seeing them release music low key because it's like you haven't even caught up on like their 10 projects that they released like just last year. You you know what I'm saying? It's like it's overwhelming to the listener to where it makes them not want to listen to anything that you release. And it just kind of comes off as like desperate, like, hey, go stream my song, please stream. It's coming off like that. And I much rather listen to an artist that takes 2-3 years making the music and then take another 2 or 3 years marketing that one project, because I know it's thoroughly done right.
And you do have different artists that can do that, right? And
Mhm.
still sound good. Like Currency, for example, like he was constantly, I remember, I forgot what year it was, but he's still doing this where he releases music like every other week or every other month or something like
Jeez.
that. But it was one year where he was consistent, like every month he released a mixtape,
Mhm.
but it was so dope.
Mhm.
And that's what separates it didn't feel like it didn't feel like he would just release a mixtape just to just make money. There was effort behind it. There was a plan. There was a rollout behind it.
Mhm.
And I listened to every single one of those mixtapes. To this day, I still listen to those songs off those mixtapes. And if you can perfect it, if you can execute it, great.
Mhm.
But the difference between Currency and, let's throw me an example, his budget and he has a bigger team, and you know what I'm saying, where he can execute that. And as the average independent artist, it's very hard to do when you're doing it majority of your own. And
Mhm.
if you have people that can do it, they're definitely going to charge you, and it's going to cost. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it just all depends on the quality of it. For me, I just can't. I can, but at that point, I'm like, yo, I'm not really creating. It's just almost like a machine. It's almost like a stamp
Yeah.
or some signature. They just put their stamp on the signature, the next page, and the next page, and it's just a factory.
Mhm.
And I understand it to a certain extent, to certain artists that could do that. But after a while, it's just like, okay, yeah, because that's what people brag about now. Oh, I release, I don't know, 3 albums in 1 year, 2 years. It's just like, but were they good?
Yeah, like did people really listen to them?
Are people really listening to him? Or are they that, like when Nas did, like Nas's run? I've never seen, like when he did the trilogy of the King's Disease, then he did a Magic.
Mhm. Oh my
Those
god.
albums were great,
Mhm.
amazing. And for me to go see him in Madison Square Garden when he did that, and he did all of the up until I don't think Magic 2 and Magic 3 wasn't out yet, but
Mhm.
Magic 1 was out and King's Disease 1, 2, and 3 were already out. And
Mhm.
he just, his first like hour and a half or two was just those songs. Then he did his classics. And I'm like, yo, but he really took his time to do that. And for the most part, solid projects. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, but I like to take my time, man, and I do adjust to a certain extent, but I don't want to adjust to the point where I'm not myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to sound or going with the trend, and once that trend ends, so does, most of the time, your career.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm at with it when it comes to creativity and keep putting out projects and albums and songs.
Yeah, and that's another thing me and that producer were talking about like the the over consistency of putting out projects along with, he said, the reason why a lot of people do that, especially with singles, constantly putting out singles almost every week and nobody's really listening to them. He said the reason why people are doing that because they're trying to make these Spotify playlists and different playlists. And it's even worse because you got TikTok, right? And TikTok is a great platform to market yourself. But like, I even saw footage of it myself too, like where you'll go to like an artist concert and one of their songs that blew up on TikTok the audience will sing along to that 15 seconds. And then after
That's all
that,
they.
it's like everything else just like, okay, I don't know
Everything
the
else
rest of the
is,
song. I'm
yeah.
like,
I don't
whoa.
know the. Yeah, this is the part that I only know because
Yeah.
they only know that 15-10 second clip.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where it's just like that's not really creating superstars because what's the turnover rate?
Mhm.
If I hear that 15-second clip, is that making me want to go buy the song or want to go stream the song? Or just want me, it's just entertaining. I'm gonna just keep scrolling. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That's the big difference. You know, and that's why I don't really care about going viral because it's just like if I do go viral, let me take advantage of it and reintroduce myself to these new follows that I had and try
Mhm.
to make the best of it. Because I look at the turnover rate. Okay, this post got 1 million views. Out of this million, how many of these people actually purchase anything that I got going on
Mhm.
from that 1 million? You know what I'm saying? How many people did I actually personally reach out to that engaged with the post? Did I was I able to convert them to go, hey, go to my website,
Mhm.
sign up to my email list? So whatever happens on Instagram with this algorithm and these changes, I'm still in contact with you via email or my website.
Mhm.
How many of those people who left a comment, an actual comment, did I start a conversation with? And then end up being a follower. And now they came to my show. Now they purchase merch. Now they purchase my album. Now they stream my music.
Mhm.
Whatever it is, now they subscribe to my YouTube channel. I look at all of those things, and it's it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work that you have to do. You just can't say, "Oh, I went viral," and you don't reach nobody who reached out to you or say thank you to the people who just a simple heart. Like when I did go viral one time, I remember just responding to the people who reshared my reel,
Mhm.
and everyone was so shocked. Oh my God, it's really you. Like you responded. And then it's like, yeah, it's social. Like, why would I not respond? But
Right.
I guess they see the numbers and they just think because, oh my God, you probably getting a lot of shit. And my phone was going off for a
Jeez.
good month and a half, almost 2 months. My phone was just ringing off with notifications, notifications, notifications. So I'm like, all right, I got to make this happen as far as let me reach out to as much people as I can and talk to people, have conversations. Oh, this one followed me. Oh, this one streamed my music. Oh, this one came to a show. Cool. And although it was a lot smaller than the million, but it's like at least I tried to connect with as many people as I can. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? We got to get out as artists. We got to get out of this like, oh, I got such and such followers. Then if they all paid $5 for my album, and it's just it's not going it's never going to work like that because
No.
Beyonce, if that's the case, Beyonce would be a trillionaire. And
Mhm.
Beyonce has over what, like 23 million or something, like some crazy Instagram following. All of her followers are not buying her music. All of her followers are not buying her clothes or her shoes from her clothing line. All of her followers are not coming to her concerts. You know what I'm saying? Some people just like her and
Mhm.
just like her pics. And like some people don't like her at all, but just nosy, just want to see what she's doing. Some people just want to like her and follow her on Instagram. It's you just got different people and you got to cater to the ones who that you want to focus on. You
Mhm.
know, that's how I look at things. I feel like I'm getting very long-winded with answers, so I apologize.
No, like I'm learning over here. I'm just trying to like absorb everything in because I'm like learning and also agreeing at the same time because I'm like everything's facts. That's why and also I mean that was actually the last question was uh how many projects you had out so far and were you working on any new projects? That was going to be the last one of the last questions, but
Yes, yes. I am working on two projects at the same time. I'm working on this collaborating with another artist by the name of Dupes.
mhm.
We have this new EP coming out next year. It's very exciting. It's a clash of genres: hip hop, reggae, soca, R&B. One project is really dope. I'm very excited about it. Shout out to my man Dupes. He produced the whole album. and wrote some songs. Traveled to Boston to record the album. We did it in over a weekend. We shot a music video. We're getting that together. We got the first single. So I'm very excited. More if you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Descendant __, Facebook, Descendant Music. My website again, descendantmc.com. Or if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Descendant __, or my email list, like you'll get all this information.
Mm.
All this information. So working on that in my solo project. I'm working on that as well. And trying to get this short film that I did, Tired, on the road and get it out to different cities. And I'm working on another, actually full-length movie. So that's the next. So that's why when you said what's next, I was when you said your next one's gonna be a full soundtrack. I'm like, see, I like it. So that was my plan. So
Oh, okay.
without saying it. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's the goal.
Dang, and I was actually just about to ask about the short film. I was like, "How's the short film coming along?" Because I really want to check it out. And also, I gotta rewatch your other films so I can like kind of catch up. Cause I watched, was it Soul? Or and
Yes.
then I watched Be More. And there's like
Yes.
two of them that I haven't watched yet though. Um,
No, that's it. I mean, I was in a another short film called
mhm.
Radio Snap. Um, my music, no, my music was in it. Actually, I take that back. My music was in it, but I played a character. It's just pretty much about how radio has changed. It's really dope. The director from Color Hearts Productions, my man Shane Petty, who he's directed Soul and he's directed Be More. He directed Radio Snatch as well,
Mm.
and it went to it got into a few film festivals that I can remember. Yeah, so
Wow.
that was pretty dope. So that's another film that I was in. I don't think that's on. I don't think he put that on YouTube though.
Ah, okay. Because I was like, I don't really remember hearing about that one, but like hearing it like being promoted or anything. So,
Oh
um,
yeah, we did our try to do our best with promotion.
wow.
Because I played a funny character in it. It was dope. It was a dope experience. It was a dope experience.
Man, I gotta check it out. Like, if y'all ever put it out there, let me know. Cause I want to watch it.
Yeah,
Is
I
it?
don't think. Yeah, I need to. If I, because I know it's not on my YouTube page. It may be on his.
Mm-hmm.
But I know he wanted to hold back and submit it to film festivals. But if I find it, I'll definitely send it to you.
Okay. Also, well, I'll hit you up behind the scenes about this, but I have another idea I think may help you out with your films. I just gave it a try. I'm waiting to hear something back myself on
Okay.
my documentary I did. But I have another platform I'm gonna tell you about that's actually pretty well known. But and every independent filmmaker should know about this platform and how
Starts
easy
with
it
an
is
F.
to no.
Okay.
But it's super easy to get out there, get your film out there on this platform. But like I said, I don't want to say nothing just yet because I want to see if like my film is gonna get on there.
Nah,
If it
I
doesn't,
definitely understand.
if it doesn't, I'm still gonna talk about it like in front of everybody later. But I'm gonna talk about it to you behind the scenes. I'll send you a voice message out
Sure.
after this. But I just want to say, is there anything else you want to leave with the audience? That I didn't speak on, anything of that nature.
Yeah, you pretty much covered a damn good amount of information, man. Like
Uh,
you really, all I say is everything that I do is with a purpose.
mm-hmm.
Everything, even if it's making you laugh, it's if I'm making you laugh, I'm making you laugh for a reason. Check the check the caption, check whatever I'm making you laugh for. There's a reason behind everything I do. Nothing that I do is just to be funny or just to be for attention. It is for a purpose, it is for a message, it is with substance. And just because it's with substance doesn't always mean it's going to be positive and it's going to be sunshine and it's going to be, no, it's just going to be reality. I just feel like I just come from a place of reality and I do my part and trying to be as balanced as possible while still being me. So anything that you see from me, it is with a purpose. That's definitely what I want to leave with the with your audience.
Dope. And one last thing, do you have any words of what kind of this is already what you just said, but also do you have any words of say information? I mean, inspiration you would like to leave with the audience? Just any, you know.
Um, you get out what you put in, and the more work ethic you have, the better the outcome of the results that you want to see. The more sacrifices that you make, the better the reward in the end. I think so many times that as artists we have this uh, diva almost like attitude where just because you know me, you have to listen to my music. Just because we're friends or we're family, or you know I've been doing music for a long time, you have to listen. Nobody owes you nothing. You got to come with that mindset of you have to make people care, because honestly nobody does. Everybody and their mama rap, or if you want to be a carpenter, everybody and their mama want to be a car, like regardless of what occupation you're in, there's hundreds if not thousands if not millions of people that want to do the same thing. What is going to separate you from that? Your work ethic has to be non-stop. So you get out what you put in. The more work you put in, the more sacrifices that you had, the more blessings, the more success and opportunities will come your way. And keep in mind, I say the work you put in. Leave it at that.
Like they say, you what the thing called in the Bible, the fruits of your labor, something like that. You enjoy the fruits of your labor. You got to put in the labor first in order to
Yeah.
get the fruits, them grapes and apples, and enjoy them jonks. You know what I'm saying? You got to
And
put
it
in the
got to be a
labor
labor of
first.
love.
Yeah.
A labor of love. It cannot be a labor for money. It cannot be a labor for attention. It cannot be a label for getting girls or girls' attention or women attention or guys' attention. It has to be a labor of love. You have to love the craft. You have to love the culture, whatever you're trying to do as an artist, regardless if it's rap, R&B, gospel, whatever. You have to love the craft. But
Hmm.
if you coming in with a label of, yeah, I'm about to make this money, but
It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna
don't
work.
work, you're gonna find out quick, and you be like, yeah, this ain't for me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Like I totally feel you on that, and thank you for coming on this interview. This is gonna be a lot for me to clip down into your biography. I'm still probably gonna be
nah, it's
asking you
okay.
some questions behind the scenes.
Just one night of bliss.